Good morning, YouTube. So today we are getting a new oil feed line for the turbo, taking BIM for a little adventure. I'll show you on the way, but yeah, so today this is what we're working with. The oil feed line came to the other day when me, Tim, and Doug were doing the swap. So I'm just gonna run over to Genetti Racing. This one is kind of short, so I'm gonna see if they have anything a little bit longer so that I can do kind of more like snake it out of the way, keep it nice and cool, because how it was right next to the exhaust manifold, which, like, I don't know, that seems to be like what most people do, but at the same time I feel like having an oil line right next to hot exhaust, I don't know, that's just me. But I'm gonna see if they have one that's a little bit longer, because they do it up over there. If you've never been to Genetti Racing and you live in Connecticut, you're missing out, because they got AN lines, they got V-bands, they got sensors. They definitely hooked it up while I was doing this swap. They did pretty much all my AN lines, so I should probably just figure out how to do that, but it came in clutch because I don't know how to cut them and do the seals. So I'll give you a little update while I'm on the road, but time to get going. All right, what is going on, YouTube? So next day, I got the oil line from Genetti Racing. They had pretty much the exact thing I needed, so it's a 3-foot line. And then let me flip the camera. And they had this little 90 here. So what's nice is the line is a bit longer than what was in that kit, so I don't really have to worry about it kinking like it did. And also they have this rotatable 90 on it, which I guess that's pretty much the same thing, because you just kind of pick where you want to tighten it down. But what's nice about that is that it sits nice and low, and then that's pretty much flat, so I'm not going to have any clearance issues with the hood. So I'm going to toss this on. I'm going to hook up my computer to the ECU, and then we'll see if we can get connection, and we'll try to crank it for the first time in, I think it's been about 10 years since this 1J started last. So that extra little bit of line made it so that I can actually snake it up along the strut tower instead of having it snake through the header, which I think that's going to be a little bit more efficient for heat. I'm not sure if it's going to be more efficient for like how long that line, like how long the oil actually has to feed. But I mean, everything's a learning curve, so we're going to see if that works, and yeah, hopefully crank it in a minute. All right, cool. So the feed and return line are all tightened up. They're a little bit too long, but I'm just gonna get some heat sleeves and some zip ties and whatnot, and just scooch them out of the way of the header there. This power wire to the alternator is also definitely gonna need a heat sleeve, but now we got oil running to and from the turbo. So yeah, now I pretty much have to prime the turbo. I should take off the valve covers and soak it down with, oh, look at that little battle wound. I should take off the valve covers and soak it down with some oil, because I mentioned earlier in this video, this thing hasn't run in 10 years. The guy I bought it from imported it about 10 years ago, actually to swap it into his wife's E36. As the story goes, I just found him on Instagram. But so he got it to swap into his wife's E36. She got pregnant, so he sold it to some kid actually up in like Upper Connecticut. He was going to swap it into a Subaru, ended up selling the Subaru. So he sold this motor to Jimmy, and then I scooped it off him about 2 years ago. So altogether, it's been about 10 years. But when it was in the first guy's possession, he did a new head gasket and head studs and whatnot, so it should be pretty fresh. I just got to make sure that there was no rust or gross buildup over the time that it's been sitting, because I don't think it ever actually started in America. But hopefully that's going to change pretty soon. All I've really done to it is, you know, top mount fuel rail, fuel pressure regulator, AN lined a bunch of things, 1050cc injectors, Link ECU, Borg 366 turbo, Rev 9 single turbo manifold. I kept the ZF transmission, so it's running a PMC adapter kit with an ACT clutch and spec pressure plate, I believe. I was originally going to put a chassis mount in this car. I ended up putting it in that car, and I don't really love the way that the chassis mounts feel. So I may end up going back to a stock shifter in this thing. Oh, I almost forgot. Got a tile wastegate in there, wiring specialties harness, chase base, tucked radiator. I gotta put the fan on that still. Little Mishimoto oil cooler, no name, huge intercooler. It's nice and thick. I gotta still work on the mounting position of that, because if you look at it from dead on, the intercooler is a little bit a little tilted, but hey, it's an engine swap, it happens. So yeah, pretty much got to hook up those two little head, like the press fittings on the head, to run the AN lines to the oil cooler, and then it's going to be, you know, done. But for first start, I'm just going to run it like that, because who cares? I'm probably going to throw a I'll just let it breathe to the atmosphere. So yeah, I'm going to hook up the computer and see what happens. All right, so I did decide I am going to pop the valve covers off real quick, just for, you know, safety reasons. It also kind of looks like there's a little bit of ponding going on in there, so I'm definitely going to get something and make sure that it's nice and cleared out. These are 1ZZ coil packs. Obviously, I haven't heard them run yet, so I can't tell you what their performance is. But they're stock Denso 1ZZ packs. Don't remember what brand or adapter brackets these are, but I don't think they were too expensive. I think the more expensive part was the coils, but they're still cheaper than 1J coils and supposedly better performance. So I'll definitely get back to you about those, but at the same time, not much of this is like bone stock, so I don't really know how to compare it to the stock ones. But my buddy does have a 1J with a 257 SXE on it with stock 1J coils. And then actually another one of my friends has one with VR coils. So I guess we'll be able to give them a somewhat decent test. The one with the GTR coils, I think he has like a... Ooh, I don't remember his turbo, because it's some weird like G376. I don't know. I completely made that up. But yeah, I'm gonna pop these off, and I'll show you what it looks like under there. I don't know if I have to... Yeah, it kind of looks like I should take those off, huh? Yeah, I guess I'm gonna pop the coil packs off and then pop the valve covers off. So I'll get back to you in a minute. All right, sick. So I've been grinding on this thing for a minute. I got the valve covers off, and I'm actually pleasantly surprised with how this thing looks. I'm gonna flip the camera around, and as you can see, there's not much of any rust buildup. Looks pretty clean up here. I mean, no, there's not even grime. I think it's just a little surface rust from sitting for so long. So my dad actually works for CRC, so I'm gonna go grab some of the engine cleaner stuff, run it through here, put some oil in here, hopefully crank it today. We're gonna see. I still have to do the wastegate, load up the base tune, a few other things, but yeah, it's very clean up here. I was nervous because since it's been sitting for so long, you know, you never know what to expect, but yeah, should be cool. I'm just gonna slap everything back together. Probably gonna wipe everything down again, just because it was pretty dirty from sitting for so long. There was some water buildup in the spark plug holes, so I took care of that, cleaned them all out. Yeah, and we should be good to go. And I cut that video off a little quick. I believe everything under here is stock. See, it has a couple little markings on here. All the little caps have like a number, or oh, they're actually letters. Yeah, but I honestly have no idea. I think it's stock. He said that he did a new timing belt, and yeah, so looks pretty sick. I was kind of stressing with how it was gonna look. I was nervous to pull these off, but yeah, it looks good. So I was actually just poking around in here a little more because I just said everything was stock. It looks like it has ARP head studs, so that's what's up. Should be good for some boost. But yeah, unless someone tells me otherwise, I believe these are stock cams. I'm not really sure how to how to tell with them in the car. But yeah, like I said, they're clean, so it's got ARP studs and clean top end. Gonna dump some oil in here and get her going. Cool. So I placed those back on. I'm gonna run over to the auto parts store. Batto 2 sensors doing that. But yeah, I'm gonna run over to the auto parts store, get that startup fluid, soak the cams down. While they're soaking a bit, I'm probably gonna load up the base tune, put everything back together, and I don't know, either fire it today or tomorrow. But yeah, stay tuned, and I'll give you an update towards the end of the video. All right, cool. So we are back from the auto parts store. Got some oil additive to dump over the top end. I was gonna just do normal oil, but my dad recommended throwing in some extra stuff for startup. I don't really know, like, they didn't have exactly like a startup oil, but I figured this would probably be good because it's, I don't know, some anti-friction, little extra spice from oil. So I'm just gonna pop these back off, throw the oil in, bolt them back down, throw the coil packs in, put everything back in. I'm at least going to try to crank it today. I might not have spark hooked up just because I don't know if I want it to exactly start today. I have a few other things I want to check over. I pretty much want to make sure that fuel, oil pressure, all that can build up without leaking. I may end up waiting for tomorrow to start it just because I want to have my friend double check the base tune. And I still have to set the wastegate. So it might turn into a tomorrow start, but today I at least want to try to crank it or see if I can get signal to the ECU. So yeah, I'll do this real quick and I'll be back. Cool, so got the valve covers back on. I know I probably should have done new gaskets, but like, I don't know, they're expensive, hard to find. The engine was built like 5-ish years ago, I believe, and not run. The gaskets still feel good, so we're gonna test it out. If they leak, I'll get another one, but trying to just get it going. So threw it back together. I'm gonna throw those couple hoses back on and throw the coil packs on and plug in the ECU, see what happens. Also, these 1ZZ coil pack adapters, super easy. It's just got this little spacer here, then an Allen key, tighten it in there. And then, so the new coil packs only have one little bolt. So let me grab that and all right, cool. So everything's hooked up. I did disconnect the coil packs, and now I'm trying to hook up the ECU. So it's currently searching. Let me see. Let's see if I can do it. It's still searching. Auto connect is active. Let's see. I have the key in here. I didn't read the instructions, so maybe I got to turn it to accessory mode. Oh, look at that. Gear shift settings are locked due to ECU being too old. Gear shift. Okay, that's a manual transmission. Okay, I have the unlock code. I will be back in 1 second. I gotta look at Jimmy's text. Alright, so as you saw, the screen unlocked as soon as I turned on the key the last screen. I had to plug in the unlock code for the ECU And now I'm just double checking because my buddy sent me. I don't really know what I'm looking at. So I'm not a tuner by any means. I'm really not a mechanic. I just find this stuff fun. So he sent me a tune on my email, and I downloaded it and opened it, but I don't really know what is happening. Oh, okay. So that's a fuel table, right? Dude, I really don't know what I'm looking at. Oh, cold start, pre-crank prime. What the fuck? So I don't really know what's gonna happen. I mean, the coil packs aren't plugged in, so it's not gonna start, but oh, that shut everything off. Weird. What is this saying? Maybe I popped a fuse? I don't really know why that happened. Now I have nothing though. Battery looks fine. Anything alarming up here? I wouldn't say anything alarming. Definitely a whole lot of vacuum leaks available. Oh wow, that turbo really is not tightened on there. Alright, well, I guess I'm gonna bolt that down before I try anything else. Alright, so I'm not exactly sure what I'm looking at here, but the computer program can't seem to find the ECU. After I turned the key that first time, everything flashed and went away. So we don't have interior lights now. I'm thinking that it potentially just popped a fuse, but I was just looking through the fuse box, don't really see anything obvious. It did like a little half crank and then where's the gabagoo? Alright guys, so sorry there wasn't more of a conclusion, but things happen. I'm not really sure why I lost power to the ECU. All of my wires still seem to be hooked up. Nothing seems to have really gone wrong. That was a weird angle. Nothing seems to have gone wrong in the engine bay wise. So I gotta double check all the wiring tomorrow. It's getting kind of cold out and the sun's starting to go down. So that's gonna be it for today. But yeah, this thing's, I keep saying that it's pretty much ready to go. But now the top end's soaked down, everything's literally bolted up, ready to go. I just gotta figure out this power thing. And it gave me like a little half crank, gave me hope. So yeah, thank you guys for watching. If you tuned in for this whole thing, it's kind of crazy, but yeah, make sure to throw a like and sub, and hopefully we're gonna get this thing to start soon.